Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to, I have no idea which week this is, of the Turnhard Dota League, otherwise known as THDL, for staff forums, staff members, and veterans from Team Liquid, where we get together and play a bunch of Dota games, even though we may or may not have a clue what we're doing in them. This week we'll be casting two matches. We've gotten on to the group stages, so these are best of ones. Some of them might be elimination matches, some of them might not be. I've honestly got no idea of what the brackets are like. We've seen some images which are supposed to depict the bracket stages about who's going to play against who, but honestly they're confusing as hell because we have 6 participants, so it really makes no sense, so I'm not even going to try and describe them at all. What I can tell you is that today's matches are between Money Scarab and 4v6, and the second match will be No Venomancer against 3 Throws Ahead. And so, yeah, these should be good matches. At least one of them is an elimination match. I know that much. I will be casting today with Sir Jolt and Grandpa, so I'll let them introduce themselves.
I'll go first on account of, order and that. I don't know if anyone remembers me. I casted the Tornhard Brood War League, the THXL, and the Gem League, which was very much the Special Olympics of Brood War. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I played in this game, so please be kind to me. And yeah, Grandpa.
Yeah, I'm Grandpa. I'm playing in Home Please, who won their group, obviously, because I'm in the team. Yeah, And I'm not in this game, but it's okay because I think I'm in the next one. I have never casted before, so this is gonna be interesting.
Just for the record, if there are any problems with sound or whatsoever, if the sound volumes aren't quite good enough, or if I'm too loud or if I'm too soft, or someone is too loud or too soft, just let me know in the chat and I'll try and readjust on the fly. Anyway, we're going to hop straight into our first game, which will be Money Scarab versus 4v6. And I don't think this is an elimination match. I think these are the second place players from both teams, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. Second place teams from both groups, I meant. So I'm at 35 seconds if you guys both are, and what I usually do is I count down from 3, and on 1 we start it simultaneously, and then I'll flick back in once I've hidden the replay timer and whatnot. You guys ready with that?
Sounds good.
Okay,
yep.
3, 2, 1, go. Now let me just hide this, and let's flick over to the overlay, which is working. Yay! Okay. Apparently I'm too loud, so I'm just going to turn myself down just a tad bit.
You hapless boor.
Wow.
Sorry, that might have been a bit aggressive for this early in the night.
Alright, so running through the teams quickly. Ooh, apparently I was watching this game. I don't remember it. 4v6, we've got Thundertoss, Red Tooth, who I think is the captain, Last Romantic, Mizu, and Sir Jolt, so you're standing in for someone in this game.
Yeah, I don't know who I was standing in for, but I do know that the team's original name was Gene 4v6 and sponsored by Brian, who failed to come through with sponsorship money. So in recognition of Shiro's work on the artwork for the whole tournament, they wanted to change their name to Shiro 4v6, so they're getting out the artwork, which is pretty sweet. Yeah.
Okay. On Money Scarab, we have Troz, who is the captain for the team, who is also picking. That now we know, thanks to that fancy little king icon. Troz, Lumix, Treehugger, Shiz, and Tupac. I believe that's their full team. I don't think they've got any stand-ins, which is quite.
Yeah, no, they had no stand-ins.
No stand-ins. Wow.
The Kunkka ban was specifically to block out Tupacalypse, who's without doubt the best player on that team, but he plays exclusively Kunkka and has done for quite some time. So I think that once they banned the Kunkka, they were pretty happy that Tupacalypse had been neutralized to some extent, and then after that, all of the bans could be unfurled as they went, just according to things they disliked.
The thing is, if they ban Tupac's heroes, Treehugger has his like 2 or 3 heroes as well. He only plays Timbersaw.
He only plays tree-related heroes.
Which is amazing.
Yeah,
it's freakish.
Tree heroes.
The funny thing is
he's an agriculturalist.
He's got 2 heroes which are tree lovers, and then he's got Timbersaw, which is dedicated to chopping them down.
Well, in fairness, we don't know if Timbersaw doesn't love trees. I
Well,
mean,
his lore says he hates them.
oh, really? Well, in that case, I stand corrected. We know that Timbersaw
10
doesn't
seconds to
love
go.
trees. um, I'm sorry. I need to read the lore. I always imagined that he had a kind of he was in love with trees, but it was a doomed love. There was a tragic element to it. I guess I should perhaps read the lore instead of just writing my own.
Well, your own lore is probably better.
How would you explain Timbersaw chopping down trees all the time? That would be
Well,
interesting.
clearly, his little mech is powered by wood chippings, but he just wants to get closer to trees, and so in order
Yeah.
to fuel his pursuit of trees, his dendrophilia, if you will, he has to constantly annihilate the very thing he loves. Life is very difficult for Timbersaw.
I think he has to carry them with him,
Radiant's
and
bane.
that's why he loves them so much.
You've got
Yeah,
to
it's
Or, well,
true.
he loves them
well.
so much he has to carry them with him.
Oh, they picked up my signature Rubik because I used the words signature Rubik in the picking phase, but no one in their right mind would do that. My Rubik is not very good.
Also, don't they usually pick you Darkseer? I thought you usually go with the Darkseer if it's available.
Yeah, my Darkseer is by far my best, but I just don't tell people about it anymore, and then they don't know to pick it. So I get to play Rubik, which is much more fun, but infinitely less effective.
And they've got the Death Prophet, which I think at the time,
10 seconds to
and
go.
he hasn't really been nerfed by now, but at the time he was overhyped
5
as
seconds.
some massive.
Yeah,
OP
people really
hero.
thought that Death Prophet was. I like that you say he for Death Prophet.
Gee, whatever, same thing.
Dyer's ban.
Yep.
Parenthesis SC, right?
Sorry.
In parenthesis S.
Yeah, there you go.
Always. For every hero.
10 seconds to go.
Or we could go with slightly more old-fashioned English and use he as gender neutral. Although people get very angry when you do that now.
I did not know that was a thing.
Reserve time.
What? You're a sham. You live in England. You should know these things.
Yeah, you're the worst.
Let's be honest, the British overall have worse English than the rest of the world. I dare say that.
Is that the case?
In
I
terms
don't
of
know.
like
Ooh, that's-
spelling and grammar and like proper English, if we just consider the
Whoa,
common folk,
whoa,
we
whoa!
just consider
Slow
the common
down,
folk.
Yeah,
son.
slow down. I'm not convinced.
Oh, I'm a big linguistic prescriptivist. I'm going to tell people what I think is good and bad.
The way you have
Jeez,
to
you're the worst,
the way
man.
you have to consider it is that the common folk
Dyer's ban.
in the UK are brought up speaking English, and they don't focus too much on actually learning, the ins and out of the language. Whereas people from foreign countries who actually learn it as a subject, therefore they
10
know
seconds
more
to
about
go.
fancy terms and whatnot than the average
5
Brit.
seconds.
Okay, Firebolt, if you want to get intellectual and educational on this,
Reserve time.
are you suggesting that you're in a position to dictate to them the correct way to speak the language with which they were brought up?
I would
In
say
a
on
kind
average,
of, I suppose, an
I
inversion of the evils of their own colonialism as part of your own linguo-moral superiority complex?
I would say
I'm not
on
gonna-
average,
I'm not
my
gonna truck with that,
spelling
you
is
freak.
better. My spelling is better than the average Brit by far.
Well, so
Um,
is mine, and I'm Swedish.
Exactly. Brits
Okay,
have horrible
so-
spelling and grammar.
Well, so
You
does
see-
Americans.
Guys, there's a game. Do you remember video games?
It's just
the
bad.
Weaver
Who
ban.
cares?
The Weaver ban is interesting. So we had to ban Weaver on any team in THDL just because at the level that we're at, trying to coordinate dust is a nightmare. You don't want to do that. Like
This is
at
very
this
true.
point, the Luna is an extravagant
I can
pickup
relate to
because
that.
someone is saying, "Oh, I can time an eclipse." We will see if that is the case later on, but
I feel
I
like
don't
that's
believe
gonna
so.
Are you dropping hints about what we're to see now?
No, I'm not. I don't remember this game. It happened some months ago.
Thornhire Scheduling League.
But no, I actually really enjoyed this game. There's something strange. I hadn't played tournament games really before, so I'm just a
10 seconds
stand-in.
to go.
But the vibe of getting put in a team and just told, all right, live up to yourself, or we're out of the tournament. Maybe is a very different feeling. Enjoyable.
I feel like
And there
you've
you
been
see the
standing
morale.
in almost every week now that we've been broadcasting. You've been standing in for some team or
I
other.
feel like I've been, but I don't think I've actually been there that often. You see, the Morana pickup is interesting because the Morana pickup takes advantage of the fact that no one will be able to work detection. Like, at the moment, the way most of the teams work is that their weakest players get thrown onto the supports. It means that you cannot depend on your supports to ward and deward and stuff effectively. And it's actually a really interesting dichotomy where basically you have to say you can't put a weak player on a carry. But if you put them on a support, you end up with the
10
most
seconds to
diabolical
go.
situations. Except if they're fuse, in which case he plays his first game of Train Protector and keeps his entire team alive throughout the game with these incredible heals and some kind of insane precognitive map awareness that I don't really fully understand, and I don't think he does either. It's incredible.
But
10
keep in mind,
seconds
if
to
he
go.
plays Keeper of the Light, he stays in jungle for like 30 minutes.
5 seconds.
When he comes out, he's got Radiance, he's got Shiva's guy.
There
He knows
was
what he's
that other
doing.
game where he did get Treant and then just didn't really. I mean, he was level 1, something like 6
Radiant's
minutes
pick.
in, so
Oh yeah,
it's
we don't talk about that game.
Shadow Shaman pickup. That's an interesting one. We don't see that very often. I mean, all the other heroes here are kind of, yeah, I see that, I expect it. But then the Shadow Shaman pickup, that's an interesting one.
It's nice. It gives you a lot of lockdown. I like it a lot, and also it gives you a lot of tower push. So if you've got the Death Prophet and the Shadow Shaman,
Very
you could be
true.
taking two towers free of
10
risk on opposite ends of the
seconds
map.
That is very true. And the disables are very nice against anti-mage,
5
but he is
seconds.
very mana heavy. So the Nyx and the anti-mage
Reserve time.
can also turn it around on him.
I'll be honest, I've never actually understood how mana burn works.
You hit stuff, their mana disappears.
Yeah,
Unless you
Yeah,
mean
but
Nyx's
depending
mana
on
burn.
how much mana you kill, or how much mana you take away, the more they get damaged.
Do you mean
yeah,
Nyx
but
Pretty
the
good.
Assassins or
mana is.
anti-mage?
But no, I understand the anti-mage one. But the Nyx Assassin's mana burn. Sorry, first off, I said mana burn, not mana void. Keep up. But the Nyx Assassin's mana void destroys mana equal to the multiplier of its intelligence.
Yes.
What does
Yes.
that mean? Multiplier?
So
I
you just
don't.
multiply their so if they have 20 int, you multiply that by whatever number that is, and then you get 100. Say if it's a level 4 mana burn, you multiply 20 by 5, you get 100, and it burns 100 mana. That's really as simple as it
You
is.
see, it doesn't specify that the multiplier is. First off, maths is not my strong suit, but it doesn't specify that the multiplier is the spell level. That's interesting. Okay, cool. I'm catching up. We'll be alright.
Okay.
All I know is that sometimes as Rubik you steal a mana burn and something explodes, and other times you steal it and nothing happens. And I've
It's
always
like-
been
it's
up in
why-
the air.
That's why OD is pretty heavily counted by Nyx Assassin. It's because whenever you mana burn the guy, he has all this int from
He
all
catches
these
fire,
million
of
sources.
course.
Yeah, I mean I've been the victim of 1,000 damage mana burns from Nyx before on OD.
10
When you're
seconds.
absolutely snowballing, it really hurts.
5 seconds.
Venge.
I like how they take their time with the last pick. It's very good.
Okay, so should we really do the which team do you favor more, because that's pretty tough analysis, and I don't know if we can actually do it.
I'll be honest, I really like the Bounty pickup. I think that they've got so many heroes that don't have very much life that having track on anyone is just great. And it's like, but why not just go for the pickups, especially with the Timbersaw?
Everybody
It's
gets
a good setup. I like it a lot.
Okay, Firebolt. Redtooth told me that you had to like up your volume,
I have to up
or
my volume. Okay.
or lower me and Sergio.
Well, I'll up myself because that's the
Not sure by
easier
how
one.
much.
I owe you one.
Someone told me
suppose
that
so.
I was too loud, so I turned it down. So whatever.
Okay, so whatever team I wasn't on, Money Scarab. Tupacalypse will take the Anti-Mage. Treehugger takes the solo mid Timbersaw. Lumix, who is, I believe, Metal X on TL, takes the offline Bounty Hunter. Then we have Troz on a Nyx and is on the Vengeful Spirit, both of them supporting in the safe lane try.
Is it Shiz or
30 seconds to
SHC?
showtime.
I've always said
Shiz
Shiz
is
because
easier.
it's easier to
I suppose so,
insert
yeah.
a vowel there than to pronounce it. Um, I'm kind of
Mizu
curious. I
going
don't
for the
see too
level
like.
1 Orb of Venom.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Mizu is the offlane Mirana for Jean slash Shiro 4v6.
Yeah, just
Thunder
for
Toss
six.
is the mid Death
Here we
Prophet.
go.
Red Tooth is the Luna. I am the Rubik that they shouldn't have employed, and Last Romantic is the Shadow Shaman. Look at this sweet D word. Oh yeah.
50 gold. Okay, Mizu with that Orb of Venom at level 1.
Oh, oh god, guys, I forgot. The first enormity of this game is spent trying to chase down Mizu's um, voice issues.
Oh,
Mizu was
right, I remember
audible
this.
through voice chat to both teams, and he refused to change it for the longest time. He was like, "It'll be fine. They're not going to hear me. I'm not coordinating anything." It was incredible. I loved it.
So basically, yeah, practice lobbies have an option where you can
Top
enable
lane,
all chat, and whenever you
Lumik gets.
talk through the Dota chat, everyone on both teams hears it. And for some reason, Troz accidentally enabled that, and Mizu couldn't figure out how to deactivate Dota chat on his
Mizu
side.
had his push to talk key for both TeamSpeak and Dota at the same. Lumix just dropped to 100-ish life on the top lane, but salved up and he's fine.
Okay, I completely missed that.
Mizu
And
is just
Mizu
being
is...
gone on the bottom lane, but he has loop, so he's safe.
This
I quite like Troll's. He plays really well with the Impale. And Paper is staggered by you, or as you, by the orb.
Yeah, I mean, I remember this now, and I was thinking. I like how mid lane both people have gotten magic sticks at level 1 at the very beginning of the game. I mean, these aren't
Yeah, I'm
typical
not quite
heroes that you
sure.
get it on.
Yeah, but I can see
They've
getting
learned
it
from your
against
cast.
the Timbersaw. Timbercast spells all the time. You might as well.
Yeah, but like getting the earlier ball on either of them. I think this is a long pause. I think to try and get Mizu's problems fixed. This
Yeah,
might
this will
take
take
some
a little
time.
while.
So let's just go through
It's
the
Alright.
lanes.
Okay, 1 second first. You should up your volume by just a bit more.
Bit more.
Just a
According to Red
shade.
Tooth.
All right, done.
So, the top lane is going pretty neatly for the offlane bounty. So, Metal X just has pretty much everything he wants. He's not getting too many last hits, but in fact, zero last hits. But he's doing well for experience. So he's
Yeah.
already level 3, and he's like, after that attempted gank, they've basically done nothing to zone him out. So
What's
they're just
Last
wasting their
Romantic
time now.
doing? He should be pulling creeps and neutral creeps and jungling.
I believe he contracted a minor case of something that he called drain damage, and so he couldn't stack creeps.
Okay.
No. Last Romantic was he was on the King's Business. He's only level 1 now, which is pretty worrying considering
Really? Yeah,
uh,
because he's
the other
such
two are both 2.5.
Shadow Shaman is such a level dependent hero that you really need those levels on it. So he really should be pulling, but I don't know what he's doing next to the tower.
And there's the request for Mizu to disband, and I think that even though I was playing for his team, I think that ideally if Mizu had disbanded at this point, probably the lane would have gone better. I've never thought about it before. What happens if a person disbands? Do all of their cells just stop acting together? Like they just erupt? That sounds disgusting. I'll not meditate on that any further.
Okay, are we talking about mid lane now?
Yeah, sure. Death Prophet's
Okay,
got enough
Thunder
gold.
Toss is on his... Yeah, Thunder Toss is on his signature Death Prophet, I guess.
Does he put a lot?
It's
Like,
interesting that
it's one of his best heroes.
both of them got their best heroes effectively. But Tree is beating him to the tune of 1 deny at the moment, and there's a full wave in there for him to get. So Thundertoss is only at 6 last hits.
Thundertoss has a tad bit more gold though. He's got his enough gold for a ball already.
Mm-hmm.
And Thundertoss is the
Well-
one with a rune wood, so Triaga doesn't actually know
So
what.
he'll get that double damage, ideally. Well, what good would it do him? He doesn't have a bottle anyway.
Well, he should be sending himself one in the courier very soon. What's this?
I don't know. 540 is nearly 100 gold away. That's not great.
Because of the stout shield, really.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And also the Crypt Swarm is just phenomenal for snatching last hits. It's great. Yeah, that was bizarre. I think Mizu lives with parrots or some avian, and it screeches at him when he speaks.
Good old Hawaii.
All right, carry on.
Alright, here we go. Yep, and out goes the ball. Bottom lane, Mizu spends another salve on himself. He's gotten the second point in leap! What?
Oh yeah, absolutely. What else would you want?
What?
Gotta get that cooldown.
That's
Lowered.
maximum value.
This
Only
is a
35 mana.
horrible
I mean, he can,
build.
think about how many spells he can cast.
He's got
Okay,
two.
it's not worse than my Viper build.
He's got two clarities. What does he actually plan to do with the clarities?
Leap more.
It's actually kind of interesting because he's getting mana burned and he's getting Wave
Mana
of Terror,
back.
so his armor is getting lowered. He's getting wrecked. I think that just having leap always as a survivability tactic might not be that bad.
Yes, but
I'm not saying
what's
it's
the
great,
what's the
but-
difference
oh,
between having it at level 1
Thundertoss
and at
is-
level 2?
Thundertoss is
Well,
emptying
4
his bottle so
seconds
he can
of
get the double damage.
cooldown.
4
4
seconds.
seconds
Yeah,
is
it's-
a lot, you know.
You gotta leap twice.
A reduced cooldown.
Double damage mid.
Yeah, and all of a sudden things look rough
Tree
for
Hugger
Tree.
is low.
He still has
he's
his
fine.
salve though.
He's fine.
And the
And
problem
he's
is
got reactive armor.
he's still not made up that gold deficit, so he still doesn't know his bottle. Like he has in
Yeah.
fact got 0 last hits
He went for
since
the
the pause.
boots first, which I think is questionable. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure if I would say questionable. I mean, I suppose you don't want the early level in Timber Chain just for escapes, but
Yes, but
that's pretty much all you'd want the boots
he's
for at
got
this point.
boots instead of a earlier bowl, and I guess he says he's thinking that it's hard to contest runes anyway, so he's just gonna get a thingamajig. Last Romantic is stacking.
Is it? Yeah, and as is Troz, or at least it looks like Troz was. Troz is only level 2. Actually, this tri-lane is shaking down really similarly on both sides, with one person
Tower could use
under
a
leveled compared to the others.
And the Luna is
Troz
just a
really,
bit ahead of the Anti-Mage.
Troz really should use
in
the
that
clarity.
sense.
He's wandering around not getting much done at the moment. I mean, he's pretty much useless unless he uses that clarity. Use the clarity. Come on,
No,
Troz.
Troz doesn't use
Come on,
clarities.
Tross.
Okay, okay, if you look at the tri-lane of, I don't remember what team they are. Money Scarab, I think. They can't do anything.
Yeah, Radiant.
Shiz has no mana to stun. Troz has no mana to stun. At this point, I mean, Mizu should not be scared of anything, and now he's getting more points in Sacred Arrow. So he's gone 2 points in Leap into 2 points in Sacred Arrow. I think
You
this,
can't argue with that. It's
Paper
not. It's,
called this the
point-
Faith
oh, it's
build.
pointed in Starfall as well.
yeah, but 1 point. What does
So
1
I'm
point
not sure
in
if
that
you
do?
if you've noticed it at the top.
Radiant's
We
middle
attempted to
tower
pull
apart.
and didn't bother stacking the camp on the basis of, I want to say last romantic saying we'll just pull it through, and I was like, I'm not confident in my ability to pull it through. So then we didn't. We were just like, oh, push the tower, it'll be fine. So this is probably the best planned tower
This is
push
actually
you'll
not
ever
bad.
see.
I mean, you've got 2 points on Luna Blessing. You've got as a catapult, which you're trying to deny. Not anymore.
Oh yeah, I didn't want them to get it.
Radiant's top towers hurt.
Well, Metalex doesn't have that much mana, so
No, he harassed an awful lot with
I guess
the
it works.
Shuriken Toss so that he could get back into experience range pretty well. Which wasn't, I don't think, negative until we suddenly pushed the tower, which, to be fair to him, wasn't even our plan.
Tower
See, I mean, that was a good push. You've got Luna, you've got Catapult. You got it done. I like how
And here comes
the
the push
Radiant
mid with
Courier
the
is still
Death Prophet
walking
ult.
around. Just casually walking around to the secret shop.
Radiant's
No one
mid
needs to
tower's
upgrade it.
getting banged
Oh,
up.
it's got Perseverance and an energy booster, and it's not been upgraded.
Yeah, you have to question that. At the very least, I mean, in terms of safety, I don't like it. I don't know. Courier costs so little. I think that if you're buying a Perseverance, maybe it's time to just consider spending the money, even if you're not a support.
I would agree. Oh, now it's changed
Okay,
direction.
let's see.
I think
Oh,
Troz
these
took command of
dire
it.
supports are going mid. Check out Last Romantic and Sir Joel.
This is a pretty tough gank.
Yeah, well, Treehugger is always tough to gank. Maybe not when he does that.
Well, when you combine everything
Oh,
together.
stack them
Oh,
stones,
wow.
boys.
Stack it and get the kill
That's,
anyway.
that's Shaka.
Man over spilled blood.
Nice job. Yeah, that shackle
Well,
was
if
pretty...
you go that way, you
Very,
time.
very
Yeah,
nearly
you die.
lost last romantic for it.
Had to happen.
Timbersaw with his massive amount of burst damage. Mizu still has the 2 clarities from the beginning of the game. I don't think he's casted a spell.
No, he leaped
well,
earlier on.
he slept a bit.
Oh,
You
that
wouldn't
at
level it up
least
if you're
makes
gonna use it.
both of them clarities worth it then.
He has fair
Well,
himself a
since he
salve.
hasn't used them, then maybe not.
I actually quite like how Mizu played it. Like, it's super safe, but you have to remember that Mizu is a lot better than the rest of his team in a lot of respects. I can't say all of them, like Thundertoss might be better, but like Mizu is someone you can rely on in that team. And then
Oh,
just
that
perfect
arrow.
on the
Arrow.
anti-mage. Yeah, he did. That's why you need the Mizu. But the point is, and now he
Aw.
has the leap to get out, you
Yeah,
see?
see, that's it.
Then he has a
But yeah,
clarity!
Mizu-
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, he'll be able to do all of that again in 10 seconds.
And
but
we missed the
The
kill.
point, oh, and then the Lumix goes on Thundertoss, but he's being healed up by the spirits, so it doesn't matter.
Nice
So he
good
gets the
attention.
Timbersaw,
Tower's
and
in
then
bad shape.
yeah, the heal from the spirits is unbelievably good, especially when you get a full Timbersaw worth of healing out of it. He's tracked though, so it's not like he can hop in and surprise anyone. And Lumix is getting some gold mid, which is
Radiant's
nice.
top tower
Wow,
is
he's
taken
really
damage.
maxing this Sacred Arrow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, what I was going to say was that
Towers getting
if
banged up.
if you're Mizu and you're on this team,
Breaking down
Yeah.
Radiant
you need to be
structures
open to the idea that everyone else might lose their lanes. And it could theoretically just all end up sitting on you. And if you're Mirana, you can make that work at least for a while if you don't die a bunch and just manage to slowly accumulate gold. And I can only assume that's what the whole point of this is. It's just make sure under no circumstances you die. Although Tupacalypse just denied him an entire wave, so there's not much you can do about that.
Metalex, well, he
And then the supports are rotating.
Successfully
In fact,
denied
all
the
of the
power.
supports are rotating down towards
Whoa,
bottom.
what's going on here? Yeah.
Oh my god. Mirana ult.
Wow, he's gonna wreck some
Works,
people here.
works pretty well with Death Prophets.
It's not actually hitting anything though.
Radiant's
like it hasn't got a
top
target.
tower's in bad
No,
shape.
I don't understand why
It's cooking.
it's not attacking them.
No, it's
Oh, well,
because
I
he
guess
didn't
he
like
just need
focus
to.
it on any one particular person. Oh, Mizu's.
In the meantime, me and Mizu are caught out,
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, Mizu, no.
and I just get blown up by the Mana Void. What can you
Run,
do?
Mizu, no.
He's
Oh,
no, he
that's
doesn't have
it.
enough mana.
Oh, nice shackle.
Yeah.
Nice shackle.
Beautiful Shackle, really beautiful. And after all that,
You might be able to
3
catch
on 1.
him, yay. Just one more nuke. There we go.
3 down.
That's beautiful. And
Yeah,
then,
this
yeah,
anti-mage has a strange build.
Radiant's top tower's
Maxing the
hurting.
mana break instead of the instead of blink. Questionable build.
well, no, it's Tupacalypse. He knows what he's doing. So clearly, what happened is he went to his lane. He saw that Mizu had 2 clarities, and he thought Mizu's invested big in mana. I should make him spend that investment on nothing. So then Mizu uses his clarities. He thinks he's safe. He's talking about his level 2 blink, and all of a sudden he has no mana. And in truth,
He bought
if you
himself
watched
another
the way
clarity.
that fight went,
Radiant's bottom tower.
Mizu just bought himself
he
another
needs
clarity.
to. After it all got mana breaked away. He needs more mana. But Mizu actually didn't have the mana to leap at the end of that fight, just because he decided to man fight Tupac at some point.
So he thinks a clarity
much as-
will
as
solve
much as
his
we might
mana
critique it.
problems.
It might. He
Just-
only needs 35 mana to leap.
Just carrying 2 around casually at all times.
So there's 3 forming up on the
With
bottom
the
tower,
track.
but Mizu is tracked, so no, that's going to work out.
He's hiding at the moment. They can't see it. Yeah, paper with the quip.
The Fate Wheel is pretty good.
Thundertoss
Gotta have
picks up
faith in those arrows.
both the mech and the Void Stone, so he's already in preposterously good shape.
Radiant's top towers and bad.
In the meantime, though, Tree is slowly accumulating money. He's got 1.2k already, and he's just farming mid solo while Thundertoss rotates.
The Luna is doing pretty well for himself.
And
Or herself.
oh, this is interesting.
There's the courier
never mind.
gone.
Wow, that
Oh,
did a
wow.
lot of damage.
Oh!
Well, it's just that it interrupted the stun, that interrupted the shackles, so it could have saved the anti-mage, but unfortunately not.
2 kills bottom and a tower.
Suddenly the tower, yeah. That's... It's not hard to see why at the time Death Prophet was being very seriously considered. But unaccountably just out of favour again. Like, Death Prophet never seems to be in favour for more than 25 minutes or so.
Death Prophet has an ult. Sorry, has a mech. So
Death Prophet has an
4v6
ult also.
Shiro has 4v6 has a mech, whereas I don't think Money Scarab are anywhere near one at the moment. Okay, 2-pack is now going for Spell Shield over Blink. This is the most confusing anti-mage build. Okay, the most
You
unique
see,
anti-mage build I've seen.
I hate to break it to you, this isn't unique. This is something that I do out of terror that I will be blown up by nukes. But the problem is that I will voluntarily out myself as probably the worst anti-mage player on earth.
So instead of getting
So,
taking less damage from nukes, why don't you just blink away and not take any damage at all?
okay, so
Yeah, I
see,
agree.
you live in a world where that can happen. But for people like me, and I presume Tupac, I don't rely on myself to click fast enough to get away from an incoming nuke. And so the guaranteed damage resistance feels like really good value compared to the potential getting blown up and then blinking away anyway. So it's just a
Okay,
question of
okay.
economics.
Valve, please get better ping for Ireland.
Oh,
Please.
it's not the ping from me to the internet. It's the ping from my brain to my hands. Oh no!
Oh, I see,
you-
I see.
It has hit
Never
me.
mind then.
Blink. It's poor. 3 are forming up on mid on the Radiant side. It's the Bounty, the Vengeful Spirit, and the Timbersaw, but they're miles from the tower, so there's not an awful lot they can do.
And these anti-mages 300 gold away from a Battle Fury. Mizu's here to arrow him. Let's see if this arrow actually connects. No, he's not gonna try it. This is slightly
No,
weird.
he just
jungling.
maxed it. He doesn't want to use it.
This is slightly weird positioning from Radiant. I mean, there's no one farming the top lane. They're all in the jungle, not doing much.
Well, by contrast, the Dire has 5 people in the bottom lane.
That is also true.
And they have...
And
They have-
the tier 1's already gone, so unless they want to push the bottom tier 2, the reasoning can't be too sound. They
I
do
think
have the
they're
death
just
buff
waiting
up, so
for
they
Trolls
can
to
just
walk
go
in.
hog wild.
They're just waiting for Troz to walk in with his ult, which he does not have because he's still level 5 or something into this century. Oh, wait, they're going for a gank without smoking because who needs smoke? It's not
No,
like
Neither
Radiant
team
has
has smoke.
I'm afraid if I'm on a team, they won't have smokes. Anytime anyone says, hey, we should smoke, there's always this jerk in the background who basically says, oh, smokes don't work, we'll just go for a walk. And that jerk is always me. So it's a
you're
pro
doing
steal
the
on Rubik. Try to
good
get
ol'-
track, get shadow walk, just shadow walk all day. Why not?
Oh, arrow! Not gonna hit.
I hit the creep.
Oh, this is a creep. Beautiful.
Okay, 5 points.
That's okay, it hit something.
4v6.
So the problem with this is that 4v6 or sorry, Money Scarab is lining up to fight it,
Yeah,
but they
2-pack
have to
should
know
not
that
be here.
the Death Prophet ult is still there, and that their anti-mage is doing nothing.
Yeah, two faction
Ooh.
over here. That's a dead
Hit.
venge. Good arrow.
Yeah, that's rough.
Oh, you guys
Yeah,
are getting
hit.
wrecked
And
by that Timbersaw,
great
though.
chakram. Yeah, the chakram was perfect. Really beautiful.
Right now. Radiant's toughened up their structure.
But there's exactly what we were talking about before with the mass serpent wards, and they still haven't had to pop the
Is
Death
Red
Prophet.
Tooth dies from another
Ooh,
chakra.
red tooth dies.
Red Tooth dies to just a flat out chakram.
Good
It's
job,
beautiful.
Treehugger. I applaud you.
Yeah, actually, that's Treehugger just got 2 kills there, and both of them were from nothing. It was perfect. He played really well.
Oh, yeah. How did Mizu die? I guess it was Chakram as well.
Chakram as well. It was
Yeah, I didn't
the
see.
pass-through damage killed Mizu.
Well, Troz is
When
level
the chakram
6
came
now,
back the other time.
so hopefully he'll be able to use that ult to some good. I also like... I think both Troz and Venge have each got 1 ward on them each, which they've been carrying around for some time now. They're just not placing them.
I don't know. I think that maybe this is just me. And again, I am not very good at Dota. We have that to fall back on. So if we're looking at people who maybe aren't very good at Dota, if you're carrying a ward, no one can give it to you for not buying wards. You demonstrably bought wards. They're fucking on you. Like they're in your inventory. You're good at warding. Good work, bro.
Well,
No one
if-
ever
if-
thinks when was the last time you placed a ward. No one asks that question.
I do. I'm sorry, Mark.
It's okay.
I'm really
When
sorry.
you ask me, I'm always bowled over by. it's a
Oh,
pleasant
no one's
novelty.
ever asked me that before. What the hell?
It's great. Yeah, that casual swap was odd. I thought he was going to fling the stun out, and he had the mana to stun and swap, but he just
Swapped and
did the
walked
swap. And I
away.
suppose there were plenty of people around, so he could have swapped and then just topped that early.
Okay, so I have a question, Firebolt.
What's up?
On Timbersaw, do you usually go for Perseverance or Soul Booster first?
Dyer's mid towers haven't.
Or does it
Actually-
depend on the lineup?
I actually really like the Perseverance first just because you can get it in smaller components, so you don't lose as much money. I panic buy a lot of things.
I don't have an answer to that. I'd go point booster first, though. Depends on whether you have a ball and whether you have other regen. If you have a ball, then definitely purse quite early.
So,
If you don't have a ball,
Troz is
Ooh.
Vendetta. This is really dangerous.
Okay,
for,
let's see what happens.
This is really dangerous for.
Searchel
For
seems
basic.
to
good
die.
arrow, though.
It's a great arrow.
I mean,
Did
for
you-
all the
Like
flack
first?
that we're giving him, he's actually
Unfortunately,
hitting
Then
quite a few of
Timbersaw.
these.
Oh no, that's the most disgusting part of it is definitely that he hits most of them. There's the mech keeping him up,
Yeah,
even through the mana void and the
that's good
huge
work.
shower hits.
Those are good words.
Those are great words. Unfortunately, just not quite enough to fend off the Death Prophet. And I suppose that's the core of what's ugly about Death Prophet is that the ult is horrific in itself, but that it heals her up afterwards is especially galling.
This was without Luna.
Top tower's hurting.
Yeah, where is Luna actually? I
So-
mean, he's just been casually
Luna is farming the jungle.
He like started with the
Almost at the
5-man
BKB.
death push, 5-man death ball running around, and then he just casually decides to give up on it, and then his team starts killing everything anyway. That's cool.
So
Yeah, well, if you win, or if you win the team fights without the Luna, you're ahead.
So if you take a look,
It's all
you'll
good.
see that in deference to the Vendetta Nyx and Bounty Hunter that just killed me, I've picked up some sentry wards. Now, you guys listened to what I said earlier on. I don't like planting wards. I just like to have them around. So I'll probably have those at the end of the game.
Well, gotta keep them for crunch mode, right?
Oh, absolutely. What happens if someone says, hey, get wards? And they're like, nah, I've still got them. Oh, actually, someone said, please plant a ward there. I remember them saying it. It was a really uncomfortable moment where I'd forgotten I'd bought them. There's the arrow to start the Roche. Mizu making use of his level 4 arrow.
Did Tupac
And
ever
it
have a
seems
stout shield?
I don't think he ever got one.
No. I'm not sure if that's confidence or hubris, though. Like, there's an element of both.
Looks like Money Scarab didn't even know about it. Maybe they did, but
There's not
didn't
much.
show on the map.
No one moving the right direction at the right time.
Well, it's dangerous to fight into a Death Prophet and a Luna with a BKB, I suppose.
With both of their ults up.
At this, yeah, Luna with the BKB pretty much means there's not much I can actually do. 4v6 can literally just 5-man and win the game at this point. Ooh.
And there's the
Oh,
arrow.
the dust.
Speculative arrow.
And then he just walks out, even though you have a Shadow Shaman. Oh, cool. That's a bit of an overkill ult, but alright.
And there's the Yules. And that's overkill.
Oh, I think I'm a few seconds ahead of you now.
You. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so time check then.
Oh well.
I'm at 21:37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. I meant the Crypt Swarm that he threw out after he was dead was overkill, not the ult.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
The ult was a bit overkill as well, I mean,
Guess
just for
what's
one guy.
happening to Dire's bottom tower?
Now it's down and they might have to back off. I don't think they actually have to, they're just so far in the lead that it doesn't
Radiant's
actually
mid
matter.
tower ain't doing
Whew,
so
that damage
good.
on Mizu. He's going for an
Dire best do
Orchids!
something
I
about
had not
that bottom
noticed that.
tower.
It's almost got it as well.
Okay, I remember this part. It was confusing as hell to see whose chat rams were whose. That is a bad eclipse. Like, oh, no, it worked! Okay, cool.
Radiant's mid tower could use a
Well,
hand.
it's gotta be as could have gotten a lot more. And he still has the BKB though.
You know the drill.
10 seconds is a long time for a BKB.
Radiant's mid tower.
It's still in ages, isn't it? Yep.
Oh, and Tross
See ya, Mizu.
is going for whom? That Impale didn't hit more than one.
Unfortunately.
Oh, the
That's,
BKB
the,
before
the new
the
Impale
ages.
is ridiculous. Yeah, I don't like the BKB before the ages. I know that there are arguments for it, but it's
No, you never do it, basically.
freaky to me.
It depends on what the spells they use.
Dire best do something about that
Oh,
bottom
that's what
tower.
does
Radiant's
not result
mid
in
tower
anything.
is getting so high. 2 down.
Unfortunately.
And Exorcism is back up.
Oh, and the Death Prophet ult.
Radiant's
Yeah,
mid
that's
ranks
disgusting.
taking a licking.
But there are times when it doesn't matter that something is on
Radiant's
one
mid
team or
ranks
another or what position they're in. I think that that problem is grotesque.
Radiant's mid ranks is out of the picture.
I still don't really understand where it went wrong for Money Scarab after all this time. I still feel like they had a strong lineup.
And you've
I don't know.
disconnected.
I'm very good at disconnecting, sorry. I at some point will disconnect during this broadcast.
Well, for one thing, I feel like Money Scarab's supports didn't do anything. They have great killing power with the Nyx and the Venge. But they just never did anything with
Yeah,
it.
I think
They hung around in the bottom lane with no mana for so long that literally Mizu could have just stomped all over them if Mizu had realized that they had no mana. But I don't think he did, so he was still playing incredibly safe. But for the longest time, Venge had mana only for Howl of Terror, Wave of Terror, and Nyx didn't have anything. So if they had
I actually think as big a problem, Nyx was on level 5 for so long,
too.
just
That's
being
true.
pushed
That's
in and out
true.
of lane, which is
But
unfortunate.
if at the very beginning of the game they had gotten a sentry, sorry, not a sentry, a smoke and a clarity, stripped some clarities up to them so they had mana, and then gone and ganked mid against Acropolis who didn't have all the move speed that she does now, and ganked her over and over again, and then given Timbersaw a good start, I would say that's a pretty big thing. That could have been different.
Gosh, I mean, with the Ags, my lord.
Oh well.
Yeah, things started to look pretty grim. There's not too much you
Yeah,
can do
the
about that.
supports on 4v6 are really farmed compared to Money Scarab. 4 staff on Rubik and Aghanims on the Shadow Shaman.
And the smoke. Apparently you can only dissuade people from buying smoke for so long. I was kind of sad actually that the Radiant Courier is just a donkey. I always like to see the mental couriers people bring to games like this.
Thunder Toss going a bit yellow.
And pays for it.
Yeah, he'll pay for that. That's perhaps overkill.
Yeah, very YOLO. Was it to the who was it
Thanks
to?
paper for the insight.
Anti-Mage. So Anti-Mage just got
Not
a lot of gold. Someone's got his
It's
mount
not the
up.
best person to feed a kill to.
No, second.
No, you really don't
Oh,
want
whoops! It seems like people are dying up here.
Pretty good Eclipse. Kills 2 people.
to. And there's the Eclipse.
2-down.
And Mizu leaps into the Orchid, which is
And
lovely.
Nyx dies.
Yep, this game's pretty much
Anti-Mage
over.
survives.
Bit of a stomp.
Yeah, unfortunately so.
Does Death Prophet have... Well, that was a questionable arrow from Mizu.
Gotta push harder.
You see that? That's the point where you want to plant a ward. At the end of the game, that ward will be there on the high ground. Good work, Jill. You got it. Like, perfect. What more could you want?
Nice word.
Yeah, when you feel like the game is drawing to a close, you can afford to splash out of it and buy some words. There's another speculative arrow from Mizu.
Yeah, you have to buy them as soon as they're off cooldown, but then don't plan them until the game is won.
How about that?
Nice Imperial.
You know,
Got 3 people.
That's 4 to
if you look at this fight,
down. Radiant's bottom rank.
MS started that off so well. It's just because it's so far behind that they didn't actually get
Yeah,
any
it's really
kills.
unfortunate.
It's done. Dyer's
I genuinely thought they would get the Death Prophet there. There was a moment of real terror when the Anti-Mage blinked, and then completely unaccountably with no vision
Silence.
after he was out of
Yeah.
range of the blink, he got stunned. And I remember when it happened not understanding what had ended the game there, like why that had worked out that way. But we're looking at it again now, I still don't understand why that happened. It's just one of those strange quirks of Dota where if you click at the right time and start the animation, sometimes the spell happens. And sorry about you. I hope you're happy with your blink because you did it soon enough. You just somehow didn't get through. It's a bummer.